Well, Erika, thank you for being here and thank you for agreeing to this interview. So tell me, who are you? What do you do? And what's your company?
Well, thank you. My name is Erika Amoako. I am a business coach and an international business executive. I've done business overseas for quite a number of years, and I have a company called Africa Intercultural Consulting, and I also work with Stanford University.
Terrific. My first question for you is, where has fear limited your opportunities?
I would say fear has probably maybe stepped in from maybe taking opportunities earlier on. I think it's driven me, but I think it's held me back sometimes from taking opportunities earlier on.
Is there a specific way in which you could say that it held you back?
I think just self-doubt. I would say feelings of worth, not really understanding my value. That has held me back in stepping forth when I could have done things maybe a lot younger. And over time period, taking those steps, realizing, oh, I am valued, or I do bring value to the table, but I could have done a lot more probably sooner.
Super. So what is the greatest contributor to your success?
I would say the greatest contributor on a personal level is probably my willingness to be adaptive, my willingness to step outside the comfort zone and to step into kind of a white space where nobody else is willing to go. That's how I started doing business in Africa. I worked with IBM for 10 years. Halfway through my career, I opted to go to Africa, which meant I had to resign from the US division. It was not advised because it was very experimental. And I said, I would like to go. And so I stepped into, uncharted terrain, had no idea what I was doing, was terrified, but also extremely excited and felt that this was the place to be. And I was in that regard, ahead of the game. So my willingness to step outside of my comfort zone, it was a very messy and probably, it wasn't a transition that was laid out, but in that messiness and trying to figure it out on my own and making mistakes, but showing up every day, I was able to set the foundation of what became a 20 plus year career overseas in Africa, where I've become a recognized leader on the continent, and it has set the stage for so many other opportunities.
Terrific. So if you could wave a magic wand, what would have to change in the workplace for you to feel like you've left a lasting legacy?
I would like to see working environments where people feel safe and where people feel heard. I would like to create global leaders and global managers, which is my passion, who create environments where people feel included. And so I would love to have an impact on future leaders in the sense of teaching them that skill set to create those environments, where everybody's voice kind of feels kind of like mission critical. And so I would love to have that impact on future leaders, where if nothing else, I would help them develop that skill set, so that we would have environments where people love going to work. People felt heard, people felt seen, and better work environments creates better workplaces, creates a better world. So that's what I would love to see.
Excellent. So what is your vision for yourself and your career in the next 3 years?
Probably to build that framework, to build that. I mean, I'm working on a book right now that is along those lines, and so I would love to teach, and I think, and I have taught before. I would love to teach now internationally in African universities. There's a couple of institutions I have my eye on, and I would love to teach a leadership curriculum to youth that are now coming up to be the next leaders, to help steer better business environments, and hopefully just leadership overall to create better leaders on the continent.
Beautiful. Last question. What is your fearless factor?
Perhaps I should ask, how would you define that? How would you define
Well,
it?
there's a lot of ways to define being fearless. And when we look at our fearless factors, the one thing that no matter what allows me to take that next step, because that's ultimately what being fearless is all about. It's having the courage to take the next step. For a lot of people, it could be determination, it could be resilience, it can be perseverance, it can be just fucking do it, frankly.
Yes.
You know, and so there's a variety of ways you can address that particular question of what's your fearless factor, because you have one. And, you know, we don't often stop to think about, yeah, how am I showing up in the world? How am I being fearless in the world? And you said a little bit about that earlier when you said, you know, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it anyway.
Right, right. Yeah, and that is really, you know, before it was, you know, maybe I could say ignorance is bliss, but you know, I think I'd be shortchanging myself in the past. Today, it's more of a recognition that life is short, and I want to live it intentionally. And in living it intentionally, I need to I need to give birth to everything that's inside of me. So I would say that it would be that in order to live, I need to continue to live intentionally, living on purpose. That is my fearless factor. I can't be content with what I've done in the past. I've had a tremendous journey and a tremendous experience. Now it's time for me to give back and to pour into others. And that is my mission. And I won't be satisfied until I'm doing it as I envision it. So I would guess that whole mission that drives me to get up every morning right now, that's my fearless factor.
I love it.